Good morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are listening. Welcome to the Breakevens. I'm not going to say podcast, Jack, because we're not doing a podcast today. We are doing our team reveals. So, everybody, welcome. A couple days out for round one, which is exciting. We are recording this on the Sunday night, so there might be some injuries before the game Wednesday. Some team news. Who knows? That might not be in here, but we're just going off as of 8 o'clock on Sunday. This is what we know, and this is what our teams are going to be most likely going into round one. So what's going to happen is I'll go through my team first, and then Jack will go through his team second. So let's get over to my team. All right, so this is my team. Because we're on Zoom, we're going to have to show you the team in full. So Blammo, there it is. Jack, what are your first thoughts on this team?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
There's a few interesting picks. Everyone's got different strategies. I can't say your strategy's wrong and my strategy's right. We don't know how it's going to play out. There's a couple plays do I go on, don't I? But you're backing them in, which, you know.
Yeah. So for those that missed our very first podcast, one of the things I said that I was excited for was versatility and being able to use people in different positions because of the COVID season. So that's sort of what I've based my team around, and I'll go through all of that now. So we'll start with the defense. Surprisingly, D1, I have Jaden Short. This is purely just because I think there's more value in Short. With Hooley gone, the likes of Asprey also gone. I feel like Short, it's easier to get the pill consistently. And with his kickouts, there aren't too many people that take the kickouts. And with Floshun out at the start, he's going to take most of them. So I think, Short's underpriced. That's why I've picked him at D1. I have tinkered with Jake Lloyd and Jack Crisp as well. Lloyd, I just can't justify that price at the moment. Like, yes, he's going to be a consistent player for us, but it just came down to pure value, and I could possibly get him cheaper because it looks like his halfback wing role might affect him a little bit, but that might have just been the preseason, so who knows. And Crisp, definitely someone I was looking to get in, but to make this team that I wanted, Crisp was just a little bit too expensive, so Jaden Short was my man. And I've said in a podcast I prefer Short over Ridley, so that was a no-brainer. D2, I've got Lockie Whitfield. So without going Lloyd or Chris with D1 means everyone's moved up a spot. So Whitfield at D2, I don't think we'll see that a lot. I think he'd probably be D3 for most people. But again, the value is there with Lockie Whitfield. He can easily go 110 plus with the right role. Get some weird injuries that we've spoken about before. They're not really your normal like hamstring, calf, anything like that. It's like slipping over and bloody like piercing a lung or something outrageous. So we don't expect him to miss a lot of games, and if he does, it's for weird crap that no one can predict. But the value is there. 500k by the end of the year, he'll be easily 550, so you'll make 50 grand there. So perfect. D3, this is probably the biggest risk In my team, I've got Justin McInerney at D3. The reasoning behind that is I just think he's going unnoticed. With Dawson leaving, everyone's saying Dylan Stevens, he's going to get that wing role, perfect. He's 160 odd K. That's what we want him to do. But I think McInerney's gone under the radar, absolutely destroyed it in pre-season. He looks like someone who can accumulate the football, loves to run with it, loves to kick the ball. So, and he's a good user by foot. So, it's a pure breakout pick. I think it can go 95 plus. If I get a 95, I'd be happy, and anything above that is a bonus. Yeah, massive pod, massive breakout pick, and it's the biggest risk. But as you can see with my squad, I can't go up or down because there's no one really around him. So I'm going to back him in for that 95 and possible D6 by the end of the year. D4, Georgie Hewitt. Everyone's saying this guy's a trap, and that might be the case. But what he showed at his time at Sydney and early in his pre-season, when he gets that role, pure midfield and not tagging, he can get plenty of the pill. Now, the only problem is he's a massive handballer. He hates to kick the ball, but that's because he's up, and he's down and dirty, getting those hard ball gets to get a handball out. So that's his game. So his ceiling isn't affected by that, but it's 399k. Someone who can easily average 90 to 95 and then possibly even more is going to make you money. And towards the buys at end of the season, if his form starts to slump because you've got Walsh back, maybe a few injuries, so he's had to play a different role, then I can obviously move him on, but I'm hoping to keep him. But again, this all depends on how the rest of the squad goes. So I got Hewitt at D4. D5, at the moment, I've got Johnny Sins. A couple of weeks ago, Sin must have. Last week, Sin, complete a void. Word is it he's still a chance to play round one. So I've got him there at the moment. If he's not named round one, I don't know if you can see towards the bottom right, but I have 3 players on my watch list there. If Sin doesn't play, I would trade him out because Port, they play Brisbane on the Saturday night anyway. So if Sin's not named, I'd trade him out for Darcy Wilmot, who isn't playing round one. I get that. But I think he's a big chance for round 2, and I've got Gibcus as the sub there. So if Sin doesn't play, Wilmot goes onto field, Gibcus goes onto field after that game, he's not playing, so I get Gibcus's score anyway. So that's the plan. If Sin is named, then I'd wait till next week, and if Gibcus has scored poorly and Wilmot is named, then I'd trade Gibcus to Wilmot. So that's going to be a correctional trade at the moment, but it'll either be Sin or Wilmot that will take that spot. And D6, I've got Paddy McCartan, which I think is an absolute lock. Has had a lot of concussions, which is dangerous, but that was as a forward where he has people jumping over his back, knees into the back of his head, where now he's doing the opposite for the most part. And he's looked really comfortable down there, intercept marks, uses the ball really well. That was something that stood out with me, is he looked, 1, to kick the ball, and 2, he was hitting targets. So that's really important. He's definitely going to be an on-field option for me, and depending who I select, he'll either be D5 or D6. On the bench, as I said, I've got Gibcus there. He's to cover Sin if Sin doesn't play, or if not, he'll go to Wilmot if he doesn't score well. But if he does score well, then I'll just pass on Wilmot for now. And yeah, I might have eventually miss out on Wilmot, who I rate highly. But again, we'll just see how we'll go here. And then Sam De Koning is the guy we must have because we're running out of defender rookies. Scored 92 in the Amy series, which I don't think he'll score 92 for the rest of this season. I think that was a one-off with Stewart out, and there was someone else out that I have now blanked. Henry was out as well, so he had the chance to intercept the ball and actually get the ball. But he'll be a slow burning rookie. Same with Gibcus, they're slow burners. You just put them on your bench, and if someone gets injured or suspended or concussed, whatever, they can cover for those 1 to 2 games. So that's my defense. That's my thoughts behind it. We'll move on to the midfield. This is where I've spent, as you can see, a crap ton of money. So we'll start with Jack McRae at M1. I think he's a must. We've said all season this guy is a must-have at only $100 shy of 700k. You know what you're going to get: 125 plus every week, or well, most weeks. But he'll have that 125 average. You can just lock him in for that. Not much more to say. He's super durable. Jack Steele, who I think Jack and I both picked to be the number one averaging midfielder. Again, just someone you know what you're going to get: tackles, ball, goes forward, kicks goals. He's a born leader. You can put him in for that 120, 125 plus as well. Vice captain this week, which I'll go into later. Took Miller, someone who I've had in, I've had out of my side, and watching him play the Amy series and that unofficial practice game, you have to have this guy in if you can afford it. One of the best, if not the best, two-way midfielder that we have in AFL footy right now. He pushes forward, he pushes twice as hard back to have out there. Contested beast, does it all. Similar to Steele, he tackles, he does all the nitty gritty, and I think he's showing early signs that last year was not a fluke. So I've been able just to fit him in, and I've got him captain for this week, as I said. I'll go through a bit later. At M4, I've got Lachie Neale. This guy is a no-brainer pick. At 543k, he's at least a minimum 100k cheaper than what he should be. Full preseason, looking fit, looking like the Lachie Neale of old, and I don't think we'll see him go back to those Brownlow type scores, but I think you can put him in for a 120 at the least. Hopefully, you know, he stays fit this season, but as I said, uninterrupted preseason, looking good. You have to have this guy in. M5, I've got Matty Rowell. This guy who's been in my squad for probably 4 to 5 days now. I went into the season going, I'm not going to have, you know, your Rows, your Cripps, super injury prone. They weren't the same at the end of last year, but Matt Rowell's come out and gone, well, Corey, I've been writing notes down in my little notebook. This is what I've learned. This is what I'm going to do. And he's absolutely torn it up. Averaged 120 in the preseason, and that's without hitting the scoreboard, which we've seen him do in those first 4 or 5 games before he got injured in his rookie season. He can push forward and kick goals. he's looking strong. He's looking good with tackles, getting the ball. If he pushes forward, that's going to be an absolute bonus. One area he does need to work on is his around the ground style, because at the moment all he is just up under in the contest, get the ball out. So if he works around the ground a bit more, that might take a few seasons. This guy could easily average 130 plus, but for this season, I'm hoping to have between that 105, 115 from Matt Rowell, and at that price point, I think you have to select him if you go on a bit riskier, like I have. M6, Jared Berry. This is a no-brainer pick as well. This guy has averaged high 90s before. A few injury-riddled seasons, but he's looking very, very good. He's looking fit. Up and under sort of contested guy that can play on the outside and likes to drift forward and can kick a few snags here and there. He could easily make 200k. So I feel like he is a must-have and absolute lock for most teams. So just quickly, I'll just go through the players that I've gone through. So Whitfield, I think, can make money. Short can make money. McInerney can make money. Hewitt can make money. Obviously, the rookies can. I think Neil, Rowell, and Berry can all make money as well. So I think you can sort of see a trend with my squad at the moment, and that will continue down a bit later. But these people are super value. They can make, they're probably 10 to 15 points under, maybe even 20 points under what they can produce, or what I think they can produce. So that's what I've gone with. That's why I've selected these, either fallen premiums or mid prices. So we'll go to M7. Nick Dacos, absolute lock. He's going to win the Brownlow this season. I've said to you many times, Jack, this guy is an absolute jet. It's very rare that you get a player that comes in, when he has the ball, he never makes the wrong decision. He's poised, he takes his time, he makes sure he hits the kick or he hits the handball. He gets 25 plus possessions most games. He's playing on the halfback, so it's not going to destroy his body. He's just a must-have pick. 193k. That's all I have to say. He could easily go up to 450k, and then he's a big chance for DPP. So at some stage, he could be a bench spot, or maybe take over McCartan at D6, depending on how everything goes. So look out for that. M8, I've got Josh Ward. I wasn't super keen on this guy, but that Amy series game, he looked bloody brilliant. Yes, O'Meara and Mitchell were out, but I think that was just a taste of what to come. And with those guys in and possibly getting less midfield time, I reckon this guy will benefit. Gets the ball, runs with it, kicks it. He's not afraid to get forward and have a shot on goal. I think he's a must-have, but it all comes down to how your teams have shaped and how much money you have left over. But I've made an emphasis to make sure I put most of my money into this midfield, because I feel like that's where we have the best rookies and value there. So what about M8, which is surprising to most of you, because at M9 on my bench, I have the Hornet, Jason Horn-Francis. The reasoning behind this is I think Dacos and Ward, their scoring potential is a lot higher than Horn-Francis. I just feel like they're more likely to score 90 plus. But I think Horn Francis is that 85 to 90, where I think they got some more. They're definitely 90 plus potential. And the good thing is, if one gets rested or one gets injured, bam, Horn Francis on. I can lock him in for an 80, 85. And he's going to make plenty of money on my bench. He is another one who can go up to 400, 450k. So that's another 250k that I can make. So come trade time, as you can see, I'm going to be a bloody millionaire. I'll be able to get anyone just because I've spent this money. So yeah, he's a must-have. Most people have him on field, but I think for now he'll be on my bench. But if he proves me wrong, I can easily swap him for Ward. So we'll go to M9. I think it's M9, is it? Yep. No, M10. Sorry, Dylan Stevens. Spoke a tad a bit about him before with McInerney, but with Dawson gone, he's touted to get that wing role, which he has been playing. Not a massive scorer. I'd probably see him going 75, which will make me a good 150, or just above 150k. So he'll be 350 to 400k by the time I probably try and move him on. He's been in the system for a few years now, bulked up, has waited his turn, and now it's his turn, and he's looking to take that with both hands. So definitely a bench option if you have the money to spend a bit higher on the bench. But if you don't, that's okay. But I think this guy is going to be a good cash cow for us. And M11, I have McDonald from Hawthorn at the moment. He's impressed all pre-season. Everyone had him to be picked over Ward for round one until Ward had that massive Amy game. They rate him highly, so I still think he's going to play there. So it's a great bench option. If he makes 150k, that's what I'm looking to get out of him. So he'll go up to around that 300, 350k, hopefully. Again, the watch list, I have Jed McEntee there, 123 mid forward. If McDonald isn't named, when do Hawthorn play? They play on the Sunday. So we should know before the Port game starts. If McDonald isn't named and McEntee is, I'll put McEntee on instead of him. Now, unfortunately, I'll need to find some extra cash with that, and that might force me into going Sin or Gibcus to Wilmot. But again, by then we will know the teams, and I'll be able to shuffle a few things around there if I need to get him in. I don't know much about McEntee, but I've heard he's really impressed as of late, and he's a sneaky chance. So if he plays and McDonald doesn't, he will be in my M11 spot. So that's the midfield. As I said, I'm paying up big dollars there. So let's move on to the rucks. R1, Brody Grundy, biggest lock in the rucks this year. If you don't have Grundy, you're doing Supercoach wrong. Absolute jet. Lost money. Not lost weight. Sorry, which has meant that he's looking smoother and a bit faster around the ground. He was looking a bit clunky last season, and at 627k, I think he's a little bit underpriced. I think he can easily go up to around Gorn, around that 690, 680 ish. I think Gorn is, and so what's that? It's about 60 odd k, which I think he can make. You can basically lock him in for 120 this season, I reckon. So I've selected him there. The second biggest risk in this team is I've gone Tim English. Now, Jack, you've been on this man all pre-season. I've been telling you, no, nope, nope, nope. But I thought about it, and his rock forward status. Do I see Tim English being a top 10 forward? Yes, and that's why I've got him at R2. So what my plan is with English, if he averages 95 to 105, he will be around my F6. So I will swap him. I'll switch him with, let's say, for instance, Hugh Dixon or Tristan Cherry when he gets ruck status. Swip him there, and then I'll upgrade the person I swap to Gorn or Darcy. So English is just there for now to prove himself. And hopefully I can just switch him forward. If he doesn't average what I think he will, then I've sort of stuffed myself here, and we'll have to trade him up. So find that extra 200k, which will throw everything out of whack. But that's the plan with English. For those out there who don't think English will be a top 10 forward, then you're really not selecting him at all this year. And my bench spot, my R3, Jack Hayes. It's looking more likely that Paddy Ryder won't play round one, which means he'll get a few games, hopefully early. And if he doesn't, he's a great loophole option because I'm pretty sure St Kilda have a fair few later games. So he's there for loophole, but when he gets games, he's there for cash generation. So I haven't gone with a loophole option this year. So I better get my VC and C's right. So yeah, Jack Hayes, 102k, can easily average around 60. So that means he'll make 150 to 200k, which is perfect for us. So we'll go to the forward lines. This is where I've saved a whole bunch of money. Same with the defenders, but more so with the forwards. So Josh Dunkley, I think you can put him in for 120 plus if he stays fit the whole season. Has had a few problems with his shoulders dislocating, but we've seen what he can do. Gets the ball, pushes forward, kicks goals, spreads well from the contest. He just does everything. So if you don't have him in your forward lines, I think you're missing out because I don't think you'll get him much cheaper unless he gets injured. F2 Saki Butters. So this was a Heaney, which I've switched to Butters just because I haven't liked what I've seen from Heaney. Not enough mid time for my liking. That might be because Papley and Franklin have been out, so he's been forced to play forward. But I think for now, Butters is the better option. He's got 167 in the Pracky game, and in the Amy series, he's got 114, and he didn't really play that well. So if he plays well and doesn't give away 5 free kicks like he did, that 114 is easily a 130. So we're just really hoping that he stays healthy because he's had a few foot injuries and stuff and a couple concussions. So I'm backing him in to outscore Heaney and all those other mid-price forwards. F3, Stephen Cornelio, he is the biggest lock for Supercoach this season. 261k for someone who's averaged 115 multiple seasons, playing pure mid at the moment. But I did see a couple of hours ago, Leon Cameron said there might be some games where Cogs will play 50-50 forward mid. So there might be a few games where he might not score as high, but those games where he plays pure mid, he's going to score those 115 pluses, and he could easily be a keeper for the whole season. So we'll move on to Mitch McGovern at F4. similar to Paddy McCartan, um, injury prone, up forward, going back where it's less contact, less stress on the body. He's looking really good, intercept marking, and being a forward, he knows how to read the play well. Great pair of hands, and another one that's good by foot. He was, as I said, same with McCartan, get the ball, and he'd make sure he made that right kick. So he likes to kick the ball and makes the right decisions. Um, we're looking at 85 here for probably McCartan, 85, and that's going to make the 150k that we need. He probably won't be a keeper, so he'll be someone that I'll have to trade around the buys. Um, F5, Will Brodie, someone who I haven't really had in my team, but I've chucked him in there. Seems to be playing well, mostly midfield, but we've had Tucker, Mundy, and Fife all out. So when they all come back in, does that mean Brodie misses out on some mid time? Yes, probably. But if he gets a good amount of mid time, all we need him to do is score. I think it's 75, and he makes 150k. So I'm backing Brady in to score 75 and average 75. Then he goes up to almost 400k, and then it's just a easy downgrade one. Brody up to, I guess, whoever I want. So that's why I've selected him. And the third risky pick for my squad is at F6. I've got Trishan Cherry. Now, everyone's been on me about this. In preseason, especially the Amy game, he was the number one ruck, and they stuck Goldstein up forward. I feel like he will take that number one ruck role, and if he does, he can easily score 90 plus and average that, and at a F6 200k, and possibly someone who could get that forward ruck status who could swap with English. It's a no-brainer for me. I do back him in for the number one ruck role. So that's purely why I've selected him. If early he doesn't look like he's got that R1 role, then my last player on my watch list there, Nick Martin. If in the first two rounds, Cherry's not that number one ruck and Goldie is, I'll downgrade him to Nick Martin, who should be playing games. And if Martin isn't, then we've got Kane Baldwin. So from Essendon as well. So Cherry will go down to one of them, and Rochelle will go onto field. So really, I feel like I've covered all my bases really well. So we'll go to Josh Rochelle. He's an absolute lock, I think, for our forward lines. Could easily average 70, 75, which again, he's making 150 to 200k at his price. Pushes up the ground, gets the ball, and is an absolute goal sneak. So I think he's a must-have. And to finish off my team, I've got Hugh Dixon at F8. With Darling now out for a month. Don't know if you guys heard, but he got the vax and then did his foot. He's out for a month, so he's out. Oscar Allen's out for a while, so Hugh Dixon is going to play mainly forward. But I'm guessing when Nick Nat has a rest, which is pretty often, Dixon will probably pinch hit in the ruck there. So not going to be a massive scorer, but at 102k, especially with not that many rookies up forward, I think it is a no-brainer selection. So that's my squad. I'll quickly go through my captains. So Jack Steele, I've got against Collingwood on Friday night. He loves playing the Pies. The Pies leak points. Um, I'm hoping for a 150 plus score here, or I usually take 130 plus. I usually just loophole if I could. So that's why I've got Still there. I think he's more likely than Jack McRae against Melbourne. So Still there against Collingwood. And then on, when did Gold Coast play? Gold Coast played the very last game of the round on Sunday. Um, Took Miller against West Coast, where all their midfielders are out. Um, he could be in for a massive score. So I think he is a must-have captain, especially being the last game. That gives you flexibility to put the VC on anyone you want that doesn't play for Gold Coast or West Coast. So if Steele scores 130, hopefully I can loophole. But if not, I'm backing Miller in to get roughly the same as Steele anyway. So just a quick recap. If Sin doesn't play, Wilmot goes in, Gibbs takes his score, and Wilmot will be my loophole. McEntee for McDonald if McDonald's not named and McEntee is. And if after round two it looks like Cherry is in that ruck one spot, I'll get Nick Martin or Kane Baldwin and Rochelle will go in. So as I said at the very start, I've got my team all on that versatility, and that's what I'm looking to use with my squad. So that's my squad. And in 2 seconds, we'll go to Jack's team. So stick around for that quickly. All right, so now I've done all my talking. Jack's going to take you through his squad. Here it is, Jack. All over to you, mate.
All right, just before we start, what's your thoughts on how I've done my team?
I'm looking at 113k in the bank, and I'm thinking, what are you going to do with 113k? So looks like a solid team. There's a few sneaky picks there that I haven't mentioned or I didn't have in my team. So you'll just justify that. So I think all round good squad, and as everyone else, it's see which rookies playing and adjust it there. But yeah, all round good squad.
So Tom Stewart at D1, he could miss round one with family issues. I've got the Koning there in my bench spot, as you can see. He will pretty much cover Stewart if he misses, but Tom Stewart will be back round two and pretty much doing Tom Stewart things, intercepting, taking kick-ins, getting inside 50s, just doing it all. That's why I've stuck with Tom Stewart there. I'm not too fussed as it's family issues and not an injury.
Yep.
At D2, someone I haven't spoken highly about coming into this Supercoach season, I've been very scared about. Jaden Short.
Surprised you've been a Richmond supporter.
Yeah, but like we've said, Richmond players with Supercoach is probably the riskiest thing you can do.
Yep.
1 week it'll be like a Dustin Martin top scoring. The next week it'll be a Noah Bolter or a Liam Baker. And then, it's just like you don't know who's going to score well, who's not. They're a very team-based team, not let's rely on this person where a lot of Supercoach points come from.
Yeah,
but with Short...
They're all role players.
Yeah. With Short, I rate him a lot higher than people around his price. The Jordan Ridley, he's a good player, but does he get his role where Jaden Short? We know his role. We know what he can do. We know what his benchmark could be. It's just pretty much consistency with him, which, again, it's hard being a Richmond player. At D3, I've got Lockie Whitfield. I think everyone's going to have Lockie Whitfield. We all know he's one of the most talented halfback wingers that we've seen for a long time. he does get those, like you said, he does get those weird injuries where he misses a couple of weeks every here and there, but he's never done an ACL, an Achilles, hamstring where he misses big weeks. And he's definitely one that will make a lot of money. My D4, I've gone, I guess you can say, a risky pick, going a mid-price Will Power. I rate this kid. I rated him last year. He did very well for me when I brought him in being on limited money, and I didn't have much of a choice with who I could upgrade to because I got destroyed at the start of the year with players like Dangerfield and Rao. But Will Powell, he averaged 88 last year. I can see that easily being 95, 100. With Jack Bowes out for the start of the season as well, he can even push that to around 110 for the first few rounds because you'll be taking more kick-ins. But yeah, Will Powell I highly rate. D5, I've got Josh Gibkiss. Him and Hinge have been in and out of my side all week. I've selected Gibkiss because Hinge's injury, unsure if he's going to play, and we're pretty certain that Josh Gibkiss gets his name called for round one, especially with Loshun out, Grimes possibly out, the likes of Asprey leaving, Hooley leaving, and how he's played in the Amy series. He's been a very good player. Not an amazing super coach scorer, around that 60, 70 mark, but you know, he's going to play 60, 70 for a rookie. I don't think is bad. D6, I've got Paddy McCartan. Like Corey said, is looking very good down there, composing the ball, taking intercept marks. He does have his concussion problems, but I think he'll be going all right. He did play a whole, is it Samford or whatever the Sydney one is?
Yeah.
He played it all. He played a whole season there with the Swans affiliate side, so I'm pretty comfortable with him. But with this season, anyone can go at any time. We don't know. My first defensive bench spot, I've got O'Driscoll. Rookies, as you can see with my bench, it looks all over the place. I don't know who's going to play. I don't know who isn't. I'm backing players that I rate, and that's why I have Nathan O'Driscoll there. He's a guy that can play mid and defense. He's very good. Does he play round one? I've got no clue.
I think he's a 50-50, but seeing he didn't play Amy series, it's mostly unlikely, but he's been probably their most likely rookie, so he could be a sneaky chance there.
Yeah, and my last defensive spot, as I spoke about at the start, Sam De Koning. Killed it last week in the Amy series without Stewart and Henry. He looks very composed as that key defender. At 123k, like I saw someone post, Sam De Koning is a straight replacement for Lockie Henderson unless Geelong decide not to play him.
Words of wisdom.
I did find that pretty funny, seeing that, you know, it's not Adelaide's choice to play Sam De Koning, or not an Essendon choice. It is Geelong's choice, so it did give me a bit of a giggle. But Sam De Koning, he's shown that he can play round one. A very composed defender. He can mark a ball. He's good by foot. He's a lot similar to his brother at Carlton, but just on the other side of the field. Going into the midfielders, as you can see, there's a difference between mine and Corey's team. And I do have the money, so it's like I could go a Took Miller, but I am going risky in that sense to not start him. But without getting into that, Jack McRae and Jack Steele, I'll do them both in one. Absolute locks. I had them first and second, averaging midfielders. They are the two most expensive, but they are the two best midfielders in the comp. Cook is obviously up there, number 3, clearly. I just think starting McRae and Steele is a bit safer. and two that I want to back at the start. My M3 Jelly. So, a bit of a story. Last week, Tom Mitchell didn't play in the Amy series. Had a bit of a groin problem, which looks like he's missing round one. I'm like, you know what? Stuff it. I'll trade him out. Let's get Josh Kelly in. Didn't tell Corey about this. Watch the Collingwood Giants game. If Kelly had a stinker or he was average, I was going to get someone like an Ollie Wines, who I really rate, in instead. Had a casual 41 touches.
Just a casual.
And I'm like, you know what? He's a pod. You're not going to see him in many teams. I'm going to back him from the start. 582K. He's easily going to jump to 620, 630K, I believe. He's someone who I can see getting to that 120 average. If not, he won't be lower than 115. I can't see. Him and Canelio have been like the two Giants midfielders for years that have just been consistently dominant when they've played. So I'm backing Kelly in at M3.
Are you a bit worried with injuries?
Well, with this season, I'm worried about every name on my list because we don't know. A McRae still could catch COVID. There's 2 weeks out. You know what I mean?
I think it's only 1 week now.
Is it down to 7 days now?
Yeah, 7 days. Yeah.
Well, you know, they can miss weeks. Anyone can get injured at any time. That's my look. Like, you know, we don't know. Just every year there's a surprise person who goes down with an injury. We don't know who's going to get injured. We can't predict it. So I'm just backing players who I think can get the job done.
Yep.
My M4 is Lockie Neal. Like Corey said, absolute lock. He's a gun. I had him averaging 123 this year. Looked great. Solid midfield around him. You know, the players like McCluggage, Berry, Rayner, they've all matured a lot more. So it's like him kicking or hand passing it off to them gets his, contested possessions, his clearances if it's from a clearance. And you know that they've got the confidence now to take that ball and run with it. Where when you're a young kid being chucked into the midfield, you might fumble a ball where you lose Supercoach points, where like now they're looking confident to grab and run. So I think his points can go up with that. Jared Berry, a guy that I rate, he's a bull. He is someone who's had injury problems, but like I said, anyone can get injured at any time. Anyone can stay healthy at any time. You don't know. Look at Petrarca. I'm pretty sure he started off with a few injuries. Now he's a dominant midfielder. Berry, he's probably someone that will be upgraded. I can see him getting that 80 to 90 constantly. Looks like he's getting a lot of mid minutes and then drifting forward a little bit where he can kick the goal or two. So yeah, I like the Berry pick. Unlike Corey, with my D6, I've got Jason Horne-Francis on the field. It's very rare where you get a draft class where you can have 3-4 names and you can be like, they're going to play round one. They are AFL ready. Horne-Francis, he's the complete package. That's why he was taken pick one. He can do everything. He can mark. He can kick. He can get the clearances. He can be a bull. He kicks goals. He can take intercept marks. He can push back, push forward. He can do everything. This season, it looks like he's going to play a mid-forward role. So that's probably going to hinder his Supercoach scores a bit. instead of being that 100, 105, it'll be more the 85, 80 to 90 range. But he knows where the goals are. He can do everything really. So he's a very safe pick, like most number one picks have been lately.
Like Jack Watts.
Yes, Jack Watts, great player. M7, Nick Dacos. I see comparisons with Scott Pendlebury with him. He's very composed. He has 4 people. He had during the preseason games. He's had 4 people around him, and he didn't stress. He didn't worry and just chuck it on his boot. He looked around, and it looked like he stopped time to get rid of the ball to a clear target that was able to progress the ball even more forward. He's very composed like Pendlebury, grabs the ball like Pendlebury. He's just an all-round talent who can go to the half-forward flank, kick goals, can go into the midfield, get clearances, plays half-back role, get plenty of deposits and push the ball forward, get those meters gained. He's a gun. And
Brownlow.
And with my M8, Josh Ward, he's someone who I thought when he got drafted was a smoky. He went pick 7. No one really saw him go on pick 7. They had the likes of Matt Johnson, Tyler Sonzi to all be up in that top 10, top 15 range, even Ben Hobbs to go before Josh Ward. But Hawthorn, they're like, he's a Hawthorn fan. We love him. His family's connected to Hawthorn. I think his grandpa played for him, and he's an endurance beast. And that's why they drafted him, is because they know he's got a big tank. And what he's proven with the preseason games, he's very good by foot. He racks up deposits. He's just another great player in this draft. With my M9 on my first bench spot, I've got Soligo. I don't know how to pronounce it. With Laird's injury, I can see him playing round 1. So if McDonald's not named, I might, or to even just be safe, I'll put Soligo as my emergency just in case something happens. I've just gone. I know he's going to play. He's 117k. Let's chuck him in. Because I know he's going to play even if it's for the first 5 rounds. My next bench spot, McDonald. He's someone who's fighting for a round 1 spot. That's why I've pretty much got him in. I know he's in and around that first team. Could play because it looks like Mitchell and O'Meara might not be right for round 1. Mitchell definitely isn't. O'Meara, it's 50-50, touch and go. If they're both out, McDonald definitely plays. With Mitchell out, he most likely will play round 1. My last midfield...
Just quickly, I think they came out and said Mitchell's a 50-50 as well, so he could possibly play, but I think McDonald still has a spot in the best 22 anyway.
My last midfield bench spot, is it Tisitas?
Cheetus. It's pronounced Cheetus. It's a weird one. It doesn't look like Cheetus.
I'm not going to try it again. He's impressed with Gold Coast. He's probably not going to play, but look where Gold Coast is playing this week. They are... Where's my mouse here? They are here right at the bottom. I can easily sub him on if Steele goes off for a Josh Ward, make Ward my emergency, him captain, Jack Steele, loophole. We're laughing. He's Gold Coast. They're going to be more that Saturday night, Sunday games most of the year. They might have some few Saturday Arvo games, but he's someone I can see as a loophole who could possibly play during the season, and if he does, I don't need to worry about going down to him because I've got him sitting there, and I'm not too sure who I could go that I can really feel confident in backing because Dylan Stevens didn't really impress me. So I've gone, all right, let's go to loophole option here. With my rucks, is it Grundy? It's Grundy.
Grundy.
I'm going to say it. I rate him higher than Gorn in football skills. I think he's a better kick than Gorn. I just reckon he's the better player. No disrespect to Gorn. He is an athletic gun as well. Grundy, you know what you're getting with him. Posies around the ball. He gets the tap out, then he pushes for the next ball. He has that second and third efforts where most ruckmen tap it and like, yep, my midfielders can do the rest. I'll just stroll forward. That's something that Grundy has that not many ruckmen have. Who knows what his reason is behind it, but it's a very good attitude to have as a player, let alone as a ruckman. I think he's going to be a top ruckman again this year. He's a gun. My second ruck spot, I've gone his old teammate, I've gone very risky, and I've gone Wits. At 380k, you know he's going to get 100, 110 most weeks. He can even push it higher. Am I scared about his ACL? Like I said, I'm scared about everyone on my list. I'm not just scared about him. I'm scared about everyone because anyone can miss at any time this year. Like every year, really, anyone can get injured. No one's immortalized. No one's got bloody a body of steel where they can't be broken down. The second reason I've gone with, so the first reason, he's going to make money easily. Second reason is if he gets back to his form before his ACL, he can easily stay as that ruck 2, and I won't need to trade him, and that leaves more trades around the ground. So, one, for a money option, but 2, I could be saving 2 trades there trying to upgrade him to a Gorn if he gets back to that 117, 120 scoring range, which he definitely can with Gold Coast's midfield this year with Miller, Rao, Anderson.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone on Twitter a couple of days ago because obviously you saw I had English, and I was like, at 100k cheaper, right, for English to be a top 10 ruck, he needs to average what, between 95 and 105, right? I said, do people think that Jared Witts can average 95 to 105? Because if so, why wouldn't you save that 100k, which you have right now in your bank, so that extra 100k for someone who could score the exact same? Now, obviously, Witts has a lot more injury history, and he doesn't have that ruck forward status like English does. But it was just a point out there that if he averages the same, Jack, you've saved 100k, so it could be a great selection. But if he gets injured, then you're in the shitter, really.
If he gets injured, I've got money here as well.
Yeah, but it's a 3 trade process though to get up to a Gorn, which means you probably have to use a trade boost. But it's a risky pick, so I rate it.
Yes, not yesterday. Earlier today, I did have English in that R2. I've been raving about him. I even told you about, like, I've got him at R2. This is what I want to do.
Yep.
And
you've
well, I wouldn't say you've stolen it. You've gone, because you called me an idiot for a while, and I don't blame you. I do say a lot of stupid things, but with Tim English, I rate him highly. He's someone I look to bring into my forward line. Just quickly before my forward line, Dixon, ruck 3. Him and Hayes, it could switch. I've just got Dixon there for now because why not? Gonna play early. If he doesn't, loophole option. I've got loophole options galore. If I can't see West Coast and Gold Coast having similar time frames on when they're playing. I can see one being a Sunday, one a Saturday. So if Dixon's not playing, easy loophole option there. Going into my forwards, before we start, I've got the bromance here, Dunkley and Shaw in F1 and F2. Dunkley, like Corey said, easily 120 plus. He's a gun. Like he said, he's had injuries, and like I've said again, I'm not worried just about certain players. I'm worried about the whole team. Like last year, Dangerfield ruined me with injuries and reports where no one expected Dangerfield to go through those injuries and miss so many weeks. That kind of ruined me. But if I'm there freaking out like, oh, Trelaw's going to do a hamstring because he's done it last year, Canelio is going to get injured again because he's done it the last 2 years, I could possibly be losing on points because they stay healthy and they dominate. So with Dunkley, he's going to be the top forward this year without a doubt. He's a gun. I don't need to say much more. On to Treloar. Now, Treloar and English have about $800 difference, and Treloar's the more expensive one. If Treloar does get injured, I can bang, there's my Team English in. But I've gone Treloar over English because Treloar's playing midfield forward. He's killing it. His ball use has improved massively, like I've said in previous podcasts, even though this isn't a podcast. He can easily go that 1.5 plus, even 1.15. He's kicking goals more regularly than not from his past. He's an absolute gun. Yes, he can do his string, but
or,
then
or
that just
strings at the same
or
time.
strings. Yes. But like Canelio, he's looked really fit to start the season. Beveridge has talked highly about him, along with McRae, Dunkley, Libba, Bont. He's rated very highly with the Bulldogs, and I think he's going to be a top forward pick.
Jack, question or statement. So here's my thinking right now, right? Obviously, you can go Treloar to English, right? Because you have 113k and English is cheaper, right? You could cover your asshole here. If you go Treloar to English, right, and Big F-Wits gets injured, all you need to do is go English to Dixon, sub them, right? Then English goes on the field, Wits goes to your bench, and then bring Rochelle on for Dixon. You could have cover there to save your ass if Wits goes down.
I could. Like I said, I'm going risky, and I can see Wits.
Yeah,
I can see him staying.
That's just a
healthy
contingency plan if
yeah
if you are a bit worried about Wits, and for people out there that are running Wits at R2, and you have like a Treloar or like a Taranto or someone, you could put English Air to cover that. So just a thought, not telling you to do it, but I picked that up pretty early, and I was waiting for you to finish your chore to be like, you can also do this if you wanted to. It's good flexibility.
Like I said, the reason I started Treloar over English is I think Treloar can score higher. I think Treloar can get that 115, 120, where I've got English at that 110, 115. So that's why I've gone Treloar. My forward three, Zach Butters, like Corey said, he's everywhere. Dominated in the Amy game, gave away 5 free kicks, which let down his super coach score a bit. Can I see him giving away 5 free kicks every week? I can't see anyone giving away 5 free kicks every week.
James,
to be honest with you,
we'll give away five 50 meters because of it. Umpire abuse.
Zach Butters at that price, he's easily a 510 to 540 price forward, if not higher. So he's like, yeah, straight in. I've gone him over Heaney. I'm just scared on Heaney. He's the one person I'm scared with. Not to injury, to consistency. Last year he had weeks where he scored 50, 55, then he'd score 130, then he'd go down to 60. It's like I'm going to go Butters where I know I'm going to get 80 plus every week. If that's at worst, easily 100 plus every week. So I guess you can say I've gone safe with Butters over Heaney, but that's nothing to do with injuries as they've both got an injury path as well. My F4, the man that at the start of the year I was very scared on picking with injuries, but I've gone, you know what? COVID, anything can happen. He's looking fit. He's killing it. He's the Canelio of old. It's Canelio. He's someone I can see easily staying at an F4 to F6 spot. I can see him turning up and having an average of over 100. He's an absolute gun. When I said with them, they're the two giant midfielders every season that they've been together that have constantly killed it. 30 plus touches, 110 Supercoach plus every week. So he's a pretty safe lock unless he gets injured, like you said, Corey.
Also, all you need is Toby Green, and then you have all three captains.
Well, that's the thing. Toby Green, he would be in over Trelaw if he wasn't suspended for 5 weeks.
Yep.
Like I said in the last podcast, he's the most talented AFL player in the league right now. He's the best player in the league, ability-wise. He's just an idiot. As you can see, my name, get around him. That's how much I love him.
He is your team.
He is. I love the bloke. I love his competitiveness. He's stupid at times, gets reported, just does those little stupid things that lets him down and makes everyone hate him where he's an absolute gun. My F5, I've got the cherry bomb. I had Brody there, and you were saying that Cherry looks like he's going to play R1. So I'm backing him in. He's 14K less, 12K less, something like that. If he keeps that R1, he's going to be the player that I was raving about a year or two ago to you when he first came into the league.
You just liked him because his name started with an X.
Half of it's his name because it's a very interesting name, but he does have ability on his side and he's a tall man. So if he gets that R1, he's someone who could be the Jack Zeeble of last year and he could stay at an F6 or even rotate if he gets that ruck status as well, which you're talking about, and which gets injured, I can just go bang.
Yep.
And then I could even bring English in for Wits and go Cherry there or English there. Doesn't really matter. I think Cherry's going to be a surprise packet. I really do. Same with my F6. Just got added in Paddy Nash. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Richmond bias? No, I absolutely hate the bloke. I have not seen someone shy away from a hardball get more than myself.
Self-burn.
But he had 37% time on ground over the weekend in the Amy game, 14 touches and a goal. That in 37% time on ground, I don't know where he played. I didn't watch the game, but he killed it.
Yeah,
for that short time.
I, I think he played some midfielder because their whole midfield's out.
He probably sat on the wing majority, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Good things with Nash. He's a great runner. He's very good ball in hand, hits his targets, can kick goals, as you can see. When West Coast get players in, if he's performing, he can sit at a half-back flank, he can sit on the wing, he can sit at half forward. He's got multiple positions he can play. He's he's someone who I am taking a risk on, but at 189k and Rochelle on my bench, it's something where if Rochelle's outperforming him, I can just sub Rochelle on and Nash will make money. It's purely a money pick. Hopefully he can get the balls and get some hard ball gets. But it's just is he going to? I can see him playing round one. That's why I've picked him. I can see him playing majority of the year, making money. Someone I can easily upgrade if he doesn't make too much money. Considering that 300k mark, and I could possibly downgrade and upgrade a Shelley or a Cherry if needed, who could make. But it's a sneaky rookie pick that I'm going with. That a lot of people probably haven't noticed yet because he got added in I think last night or yesterday, and seeing his price, they're probably scared as he's a top tier rookie, I guess you can say.
yep.
Got Rochelle as my first bench forward. I was saying to Corey before here, I'm scared having the both of them in, but at the same time, I'm not because I know they're both going to make money. I just don't know who to chuck on the field, who to chuck on the bench. They're both playing Sunday games, so if for any reason Nash isn't selected, I can just sub him out for Rochelle. Rochelle, I've compared him to our mate last year, Jimmy Rowe. He's a goal sneak, kicks goals, can go quiet at times, but in the Amy series, he showed that he can be on and around the ball and get plenty of the ball
He's a
without worrying about the goals. The goals is just a bonus with him. So
he's a
that
big impact player. Like, doesn't have to get a lot of it, but that scoreboard impact and the ability to use the ball, he's got a higher points per minute than you'd think with like Jimmy Rowe and stuff.
yeah, which now I'm thinking after seeing him perform in preseason, the Jimmy Rowe tag on him is probably a bit harsh. But Jimmy Rowe in the Amy series last year did score 117, where I think Rochelle scored 90 something or high 80s. So it's like the Amy series, yes, it's competitive. Yes, we go off it, but it's nothing like round one. The intensity goes up another notch round one to the Amy series. So like the Jimmy Rowe tag could be a reasonable fit for him, but he's showing signs not to be. And like I said, he could easily be that F8 for me early on, depending on how him and Nash play. And my last pick, the man that you haven't shut up about, he's your Jeremy Howe to me, right? He's your Jeremy Howe to me. Jack Hayes. He did show a lot of signs in the Amy game. He did. He just gave effort. And that's what coaches love to see. Players going for first tackles, second tackles, third tackles, not giving up on the play. And for a big man like he is, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He showed a lot of effort, which again, a lot of ruckmen you don't really see. You got your Nankervises, Grundys, Gorns who show effort around the ground and with their tackle pressure and going again and again and again. He showed that. So, and at 102k, if he misses games because Ryder comes back, he can be another loophole option. It's not really much of a risk, unlike a Nash where if he's not playing 4 weeks in a row, then I've got to think about, oh shit, what do I do? Hayes can sit on the bench.
Yeah, and Jack, I reckon Hayes might out average and outscore Howe this year.
If Howe doesn't play, he definitely will. Um, just before I finish up, I've got on Jack Steele vice captain. Like Corey said, he could easily go 130 plus against the Pies. No disrespect to them, but who do Collingwood have that's going to stop a Jack Steele? They don't really have that defensive type midfielder who you can go, yep, you go on him and you can stop him. But even when teams try that, you can't stop Jack Steele. He stops you. He pulls out the reverse card. No, it's your turn. um. So yeah, I've gone Jack Steele. I think it's hard to tell with round one who's going to win or not, but I think he is going to dominate the Collingwood midfield. I'm even thinking maybe a 140 plus on him this week. I think he could do that. That's no disrespect to you or Collingwood, Corey.
We as I said, we league points and have never been a tagging team, so he'll just roam around and get the ball.
Yeah. So I've gone Josh Kelly captain. I was floating around Lockie Neal at the Gabba, Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide aren't a team that really tag much, so I was highly looking at Neal. But then I saw at the Sydney Derby, Giants versus Sydney. Both teams really go that extra mile, like we want to win this game. If Steele doesn't get that 130 plus, which I think he easily gets, I think Kelly will go at least 125 to 130 at a minimum. So I'm backing him in. It's also a Lockie Neal. You'd expect most people to put a vice captain tag on him, where Josh Kelly, not many people have him in the first place, but no one's going to be ballsy enough to put that vice captain on him, and he can definitely be a game changer. Um, but it's just like all derby games. You got your Perth ones, your Queensland ones, your Sydney ones, your Adelaide ones. With those derby games, every team goes up a notch. They will kill themselves to win that game because they love their club that much. And I see that with Kelly, Cornelio, and Toby Green with the Giants. They really try and lead everyone else and make everyone else take another step to win that game. So that's why I've gone Kelly over Neal. And that's pretty much it for my team.
All right, so that's both of our teams. So just a big, I guess, public announcement is with the rookies. Obviously, we don't know who's going to debut yet, so any rookie in either of our sides could be switched out for someone else. So don't take a big emphasis on the rookies, but most of the ones we have selected should play. There's a few 50-50s out there, so pick who's playing and who you think will score the most from playing. So that's our teams. Let us know what you think in the YouTube comments. What do you like in both of our teams? What don't you like? If you have any questions, just chuck it all down there. We're happy to help. You can also find us on Twitter and ask questions there at the Breakevens. Thank you all for watching this video. I was going to say listening, but this is a YouTube exclusive. So thank you so much for sticking around and good luck for the Supercoach season. And we'll be back. I think we're going to record our podcast tomorrow instead of Wednesday because there's public holiday. So we'll record that then. So you'll hear about a few things there. So make sure you go listen to that. So thank you again. And as always, it's bye for now.
Catch ya.